Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mevo Live. I am Joe Cape. I'm the Senior Technical Specialist here at Mevo, and today we have another really great show for you. I actually had Dan from our marketing team put together 5 frequently asked questions that he's constantly getting in the inbox here at Mevo Camera, and I'm going to address all 5 of those questions for today's show. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to throw those into the chat. We do have people monitoring those to make sure I get those, and I can do my best to address those live. If you have any technical questions, make sure you go to help.mevo.com. You can open up a ticket and a support agent would be happy to help you with that. For today's show, I'm going to be using a single Mevo Start. I'm also going to be using this Blue Yeti Nano microphone via the 3.5 millimeter out the monitor into the back of the Mevo Start. You could also use this microphone via USB-C on the back of the Mevo Start as well, and it would be recognized as a plug-and-play device. Now for my connection, I'm running wirelessly. I'm not using Ethernet. However, I could, if I wanted to, use a power Ethernet adapter such like this one that you can find on Mevo.com, and that would make my stream the most stable that it could be. But for today's show, I really wanted to demonstrate how you can successfully run a wireless live stream without having any types of hiccups as long as the network is configured appropriately. Before I actually ran this stream, I actually did a few different tests. And I recommend anyone do tests like this before they go into production. My mindset when you do a live stream is you should practice how you play. You should make sure your Mevo's connected the method it would be connected, your audio's connected the same method it would be connected, and everything is running and configured the exact same way, and as well as the environment itself before you go live. I actually ran a test stream to our test group, and then I even tested the audio, we checked the lights, we did all of those things, and I actually have been streaming for about the last hour even, and to make sure that my connectivity was stable without any types of issues. So for this show, we are going to be running wirelessly, and hopefully you guys can see how smooth and seamless it actually is. Okay, so it looks like I'm just a little bit exposed. So since I am actually using the Mevo 2.0 app, all of the overlays that you're seeing today are done within the Mevo 2.0 app. I can actually make some adjustments live directly within the app itself. So I'm going to go into an image adjustment settings just to show you how easy that actually is and see what we can actually do with that. All right, let's drop down just a few here. Let's see what we're working with. Just a little bit. We're going the wrong way, it looks like. Let's make some adjustments. Am I going to blow myself out here? So in the image adjustment settings in the Mevo 2.0 app, you can actually adjust all of this stuff live, which is fantastic. I've got this plugged in so my phone stays going. So it looks like I'm blowing myself out just a little bit. So we're going to go a little bit this way. It's going to be a little bit of a drastic change. And here we go. Let's see what we've got. Make some adjustments. I think my bald head is not doing well in this environment. That is for sure. All right, what I'm going to do is just jump over here and allow the camera to do its thing on its own and handle all of the auto settings. It looks like I got really, really dark in that. So I made some adjustments in there. I can continue to do so, but it looks like we have a pretty good point of view right now as it stands for the show. So for the topics for today, I'm actually going to cover a few things to include Autopilot. A lot of users tend to find themselves maybe enabling this by accident, and I'm going to show you how to identify that before you go live, and then even actually disable it if that's something you don't want to go or use. We're going to go over recording without streaming, how the different methods that you can connect and actually accomplish this without even connecting to the app. We're going to talk about webcam mode, wireless and wired for both Mac and PC. And then we're going to talk about getting the files off of the SD card through the library or using a card reader to access those cards. Hotspot versus local Wi-Fi and Ethernet, we might cover that just a little bit today. I talked about how I'm running wireless today via the local network, but for any other type of configuration, I'd usually be using Ethernet, but if I'm on the go, then the hotspot's the way to go. So for the first topic, I'm going to talk about Autopilot. So Autopilot is a setting that we have in the Mevo 2.0 app, which allows the apps to take control of the camera. You can predefine some settings, some shots, and you can transition among those manually if you want, or you can turn on Autopilot. So Autopilot's going to go through those predetermined shots, and if you actually tap in, right, if you select a shot, you might notice that Autopilot's actually going to zoom in just a little bit. Let's see what we're doing here. It looks like we're peaking just a bit, so I'm going to make some slight adjustments. It looks like the camera was a little bit messed with during my last use. Okay, so for the Autopilot setting, let me go ahead and just get my AirPods here so I can monitor my audio. I want to make sure I'm delivering some good content. Ran a lot of tests today. I was live for about an hour before we actually went live, but it seems like we might still be having issues. All right, yes. Let's make some adjustments. So all of these adjustments are happening live in the Mevo 2.0 app. All I have to do is change this over just a bit. Easy, easy. So I'm actually controlling all of this myself. Nobody else is actually doing it, which is pretty solid. Fantastic. Okay. So I think we're in a good place. I'm going to take this back out. Awesome. So when I get excited, I tend to do this. So the audio settings seem to be adjusted for Will. Will goes live every Wednesday. But when I get excited, I get real excited for my shows, and I'm probably a little bit more loud than Will is, so the audio settings needed adjusted a bit. This is just a perfect example of how you should practice how you play. I should have absolutely have really got my voice up there to make sure that the audio is solid before going live. Mistake on my part. Even I can make mistakes. I'm not perfect, I promise. Okay, so for Autopilot, if you notice that you're actually selecting a static shot, right, and you select it and you notice that it zooms out a few seconds after you select that shot, that means Autopilot's enabled, and this could be by mistake. However, it's extremely easy to disable. This is probably one of the #1 tickets that we get in support, so I know there are people out there who are wondering why this is still happening to them. So it's a pretty easy process to go and disable it. You can't really see my screen today, but if I just go into the ellipsis and press the I over here that has an A in there for auto, and then we've got Find Faces, Live Follow, and Autopilot. You can simply tap on and off Autopilot. If you're seeing a white border around it, then that means that it is enabled. To disable it, just tap on it, the border will go away, and then it's disabled. So that means you can make adjustments after it's disabled without worrying about it zooming in, out, switching shots, or anything like that. It's great and useful for a single person show. I personally am not one that likes to use it a lot for shows like this. I like to get that full range, that full HD quality without using a digital zoom or anything like that. But it does really add some things when you're doing things with like podcasts. That's where Autopilot really comes in, when you have like 1 or 2 people, maybe next week's show or on the 15th when Will and I are doing shows again together, we can demonstrate how Autopilot works with both of us on the same set, but 6 feet apart, and showing how they could switch among us as we do our show. Okay, so the second topic I wanted to talk about, oh, look at this, we got some questions. So Carl asks, any offers on Mevo packages at present? At this time, we do not. Our last sale expired yesterday. Yesterday was the last day. No bundle, but it was individual discounts for each of our products, and that expired yesterday. But our marketing team's always doing their best to try to get us some sales. That way we can get them out to you. The best way to get notified about those are honestly for our live streams. Our live streams, we always mention our sales once or twice a show. So if you're looking for discount codes and things like that, the shows are the best way to find those out. Elder says, what auto setting did you just hit? That was crazy cool. Talking, changing your exposure. Okay, so Elder, so there is an option. So if you go into the ellipsis, I know you really can't see it. It's a really dark shot right here, and a lot of reflection. But I can describe it to you. Basically, when you tap the ellipsis, which is the 3 dots on the far bottom right of your screen, and then you go to the 3 circles, which is our image adjustment settings. There are multiple different settings in there. You can change exposure, white balance. And for me, I am not an image fanatic. I am not the person who's best qualified to set this stuff up. Our producer typically does all of those things. But with the weather changes, the lighting behind me and the lighting in front of me all changing just a little bit too much, then those settings need adjusted, and unfortunately it didn't seem like anyone noticed it before I went live, but here we are now, and all I had to do was press the normal button and it automatically adjusted and auto did everything based on the normal settings that the camera comes with. So it does a pretty good job at identifying your environment and things like that. So by just tapping normal, it adjusted on its own, which is pretty good. Keep the questions coming. If you have any questions and you would like those answered live, please let me know. The best part of these shows is interacting with users. We do go live 4 times a week, so I understand that we could be running out of questions, but I know someone out there, just someone. I'm part of all of our Facebook groups. I know someone's got a question, so if you do have one, throw those in the chat, and I'll try to do my best to address those. Okay, so our number 2 option we've got is record only without streaming. So a lot of people wonder if you can actually record without streaming. With the Mevo Start being built specifically with streaming in mind, we did not leave out the recording option. So you can absolutely record without internet access and even without connecting the app at all. The Mevo actually has a feature built into it that as long as the Mevo's on and it has a micro SD card inside of it with space, if you just tap the power button on the back of the Mevo Start or tap the power button on the top of the Mevo Plus, whichever generation you have, it'll automatically start recording with the last save settings. Now, if that's a feature that you would like to use with streaming, you can do that. You can even go into your Mevo settings and change what the power button even does. You can change it to record or use the last recording settings. You can change it to use the last streaming settings and things like that. That way you don't even have to connect to the app. It'll just use the last known configuration that was successful and attempt to go live. Now, if you do try to do this and you don't have a micro SD card or something in, or there's a platform issue, you might see some flashing yellow lights, which just means error, which means that the stream or recording was not successful for whatever reason. Like I said, it could be as simple as not having an SD card in there if you're recording, or not having internet access if you're trying to stream. But it's absolutely possible to record without streaming. Another way you can actually accomplish that is using the Mevo Hotspot. If you do want to use your Mevo 2.0 app and configure your recording that way, you can absolutely do that. The recording would, you can control everything with the Mevo 2.0 app without even a local network present. The Mevo creates its own network and allows you to do that. Now, if you want to stream remotely, you can still connect to the Mevo Hotspot, and the Mevo Hotspot will identify if your mobile device has a data plan, in which it will then use the data to stream from your Mevo directly. Okay, we got some more questions. Steven says, I have the older Mevo, the round one. What do I need to connect it to my soundboard? Okay, so if you want to, there's multiple different ways you can do this, and I was actually going to talk about audio a little bit today, but I figured I'd leave it until tomorrow's show with Joseph. So for the Mevo Plus and the Mevo First Gen, there are a few different ways you can connect external audio. One of the ways is run your soundboard into a mobile device that has a 3.5 millimeter audio input. Now note that the mobile devices that take these, they accept TRRS, so you might require an iRig or an adapter of that type of sort to plug in your soundboard directly into a mobile device. Now, another way that you can do it is if you have a Mevo Boost, those do have USB-A inputs where you can use an adapter to take a USB output from a soundboard, or even use an adapter that has a USB to a 3.5 and do it that way as well. Last but not least, you can also use our free app, which is available in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store for absolutely free. It's the Mevo Mic App, and it acts as a secondary device, so it wouldn't connect to your primary. This would still run the Mevo 2.0 app, but if you had a second device, maybe an older phone or an iPod or an iTouch or something like that, that can run the Mevo Mic App, then you can just make sure they're connected to the same network, and you can run that source directly into that mobile device. That mobile device will then send it to your Mevo. And then the Mevo will handle all video and audio syncing automatically. Okay, Elder says, thank you. I never knew normal mode was adjusting it. Absolutely. So normal mode actually sets all of the, basically sets all the features, whether it's exposure, white balance, and all of those things. It sets it to auto, which means it's automatically going to adjust based on your environment. So in those, that's the setting it's on by default, but if you start messing with it, it will no longer be in normal, but normal does do the automatic configurations. Thank you for the questions. Okay, so for topic number 3, I want to talk about webcam mode. So webcam mode currently are in beta, and as of recently, you can actually do wired and wireless for both Mac and PC, and you can gain access to all of those via the Facebook group. We have a webcam beta Facebook group, which is just, I think it's literally named Mevo Webcam Beta Group. Let me double check. Mevo Webcam Beta Group, that's literally the title. Request to join that group, and then we can approve you, and you can go ahead and do whatever kind of usage you would like with webcam mode. Now, note for those trying to use the PC, it is a very early beta, but it is going to become more stable as more people use it and report bugs. Those are the purposes of our beta. So if you do want to use beta, I highly recommend doing it and report any kind of issue or any kind of change or modification you'd like to see. Our betas are extremely useful, and it's the best way for you to get your feedback to us. That way we can make any kind of suggestions a reality. If you really are a heavy Mevo user, or if you're just an ordinary user who comes around every once in a while, this is the time. Betas are the best time now than ever to get your opinion heard and make changes as the app is being built and developed. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if we have any more questions. Nothing yet, man. All right, guys, get those questions in the chat. Okay, so for webcam mode, you can use wireless and wired for all three Mevo. You can the Mevo Start, Mevo Plus, Mevo First Gen, all three work together. Wirelessly, you will be able to connect all three wirelessly, and it will work with any software such as OBS, Wirecast, Ecamm, any kind of software like that that allows you to use a webcam as a video source. So reasons that would work well. All of those softwares have really cool features that allow you to use overlays, chroma key, lots of cool things like that. Then you can even like integrate video game overlays and things like that if you're just trying to go to Twitch or something. There's a lot of really neat ways that you can use your webcam. Now, those are out of the box ways. Now, the traditional way, you can use it with Zoom, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, and things like that as well. If you find yourself wanting a more appealing presence while you are maybe working from home, or just you're traditionally just using those platforms anyways. And then wired webcam, much like wireless, is going to allow you to do the same things. There are a few caveats to that. Is the Mevo Plus and Mevo First Gen, they do not send audio via wired webcam mode. So for wireless webcam mode, you can absolutely send audio that way, but when it's wired, you are not able to. Unfortunately, a hardware restriction that or a limitation that we are not able to get around. But you can still use it for all those other things and bring it in audio a third-party way. Ross says, is wireless webcam mode lighter in bandwidth than NDI? Yes, it's going to be lighter in bandwidth. However, NDI goes all the way up to 15 megabytes per second. And I would recommend running NDI via Ethernet anyways. But if you're looking for the most crisp audio solution, then using the Mevo Start via NDI would be the solution that I would go. Victor says, in multicam mode, will the tally lights show which cam is live? When I use OBS, light is always red, even if the Mevo is not in live production. Okay, so... And I'm not sure. So multicam, yes, you can absolutely, the tally lights are functional. When using it with Mevo or with OBS, I think what may be happening is OBS actually has those cameras live regardless if that scene is being selected. And I think that might be what you're seeing when because of the scene. Technically, as far as the camera is concerned, it's still being selected by OBS, even though the scene is not being shown. I do believe OBS has features, I know specifically for media, that allows you to say, hey, if I'm not on this scene, do not load this image, do not load this video, whatever it might be. I'm not sure if they do the same thing for NDI or webcam mode for OBS or not. Now, tally lights are going to work specifically for NDI. Tally lights are not going to work for webcam mode because they're always going to be an active source. Great question. As far as multicam, the app, yes, tally lights are also going to work that way. But of course, multicam does not actually go out to things like OBS or something like that at this time. All right. Great questions. Really good questions. I actually really like the tally light. So currently using a tally light right now, and that's the best way for me to know without looking at the app if I am live. Let me see here. Awesome. Without actually being live, that's the best way for me to see without looking at the app itself. I did not realize we are so far into the show already. If you are just joining us, I am Joe Capehart, the Senior Technical Specialist here at Mevo, and I'm going over the 5 top frequently asked questions that our marketing team sees in their inbox on all social media platforms. So that's what I'm talking about today. We covered Autopilot already. We're talking about recording without streaming, which you can absolutely do. Webcam mode, we discussed wireless and wired, the limitations and ways you may use it. And we're going to get into getting the files off of SD cards or file from the Mevo to your computer or to your mobile device. Eno says, when overlaying graphics for Mevo 2 or Mevo 2 app, Mevo 2.0 app absolutely allows you to do overlay and graphical overlays and live editing and all those things. You just need to have the Vimeo producer plan. If you open a ticket, someone would be happy to provide you instructions on how to log into your Vimeo account and get using those live editing features. Okay, so our fourth topic is going to be getting files off the SD card through the library or through a card reader. Now, getting it through the library, you can absolutely do that. You can just simply go to the library and download it to your mobile device wirelessly. Now, what I highly recommend, because doing that can take some time. Now, what I would recommend is actually taking the micro SD card out, using a simple card reader, and plugging it into your computer and dragging it off. It's going to be so much faster to get it to your computer for post-editing if you decide to do any post-editing. And it's going to be a lot faster even uploading it from there to your platform opposed to trying to upload it from your phone. A computer with a local network is going to be just simply faster than trying to use your phone. However, you can go to the media library in the Mevo 2.0 app and download directly to your mobile device. You can even share from the library and share it to the platform of your choice. Now, the last topic I want to talk about is the difference between hotspot mode, local Wi-Fi, and Ethernet. Kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. As I said, we are using Wi-Fi today to kind of demonstrate how smooth these shows can go. I'm currently going live to two platforms. I'm going to YouTube and to Facebook. So you'll notice, at least I think so, I haven't gotten any warnings, so we should be solid, that we have been streaming rather smoothly. Audio has been great, video has been great. Outside of my audio adjustments that I manually made and image adjustments that I made using the app, could be a little different. Now, when you are trying to use hotspot mode, what that actually is doing is using your mobile device's data plan. It's not seeing if your mobile device is connected to a local network. It's simply seeing if your mobile device has a data plan. If it does not have a data plan, you will not be able to use the hotspot mode to stream. However, you can use hotspot mode to record. Now, if you do have a local network and your device doesn't have a data plan, that's where you're going to want to use the local Wi-Fi. You're not going to want to use hotspot mode. Hotspot mode acts as a local network, and you connect your phone to the Mevo hotspot, and it is a wireless network that it creates from the Mevo itself. But the local network, of the local Wi-Fi, you're going to connect both the mobile device and the Mevo device to your network. Now, once they're both connected to the same network, they'll be able to discover each other and connect that way. And then what's going to happen is they're going to communicate over Wi-Fi, and then the stream from the Mevo is going to go directly to the internet through that local Wi-Fi. It's not going to use your phone's data. It's not going to use your phone's connectivity at all. It's only using that connection through Wi-Fi to actually control the app itself, but everything else is being handled basically by the Mevo. Once you press go live, the footage is going straight to the internet through your local network. It's not going to the phone first, it's going straight to the internet. Okay, so, and then Ethernet. Now, Ethernet, I highly recommend, can't recommend it enough. It's the most stable and professional way to go live. So in my theory, the way I look at this is if you can't possibly risk ever having an issue, because with Wi-Fi there's so many variables, things that you may not even have control of. Somebody could come in and, as simple as disconnecting the Wi-Fi router opposed to your local modem that's still working, it could, whatever it might be, right? So if that's the case, and you can't risk losing your stream, I recommend using Ethernet. Ethernet's going to give you the best strength, the fastest speeds typically, and you're not going to have to worry about any kind of interference or third-party devices coming in and taking your bandwidth from you. This is available now at Mevo.com. You can get this, I believe they're completely in stock. I believe they are $149. I don't want to speak too soon. Just let me load that up. But you can go to Mevo.com right now. Yep, $149.99 on the Mevo.com website for US-based buyers. The price might vary based on your geographic location. So if you're buying from the UK or EU, then you might run into some import stuff. So the price will vary based on where you're actually located, if you have to run it, or if you have any local taxes or anything like that. David says, how to connect to Facebook groups. So basically, this is actually pretty easy. Depending if you're using Mevo 2.0 app or multicam beta app. If you're using Mevo 2.0 app, you're going to connect or log into Facebook, and you're going to select your group. And when you try to go live to that group, you're simply going to be asked to add that app to your group. And then if you aren't asked, you can always go to that Facebook group, go into edit your group settings, go to apps, add Mevo Camera, and if you're using multicam, you can add Mevo Multicam. Both of those apps are required for you to go live with either one of them. And then you just go. You can just go straight live. Elder says, what's the benefits of NDI at 5 megabytes versus higher bandwidths? Quality? Yes, absolutely. So it's going to be smoother. It's going to be slightly sharper. It's just going to have more detail to it than, oh, I almost lost my phone there. That would have been ugly. And I almost ended the stream. Look at that. Okay, so yeah, basically the 5 megabyte versus the 15, you're just going to see a crisper, more smooth quality shot. You really don't think you will, but I promise if you put two side by side, and we did this when we first introduced NDI, it was a significant improvement for sure. Francisco says, can I connect Mevo Camera with Roland video switcher? I'm unfamiliar with that video switcher. However, if the Roland video switcher accepts NDI, RTMP, or UVC as inputs, then absolutely you can use the Mevo with it. If it requires an HDMI input or an output for the Mevo does not support any video out via HDMI. So if that's a requirement, then that won't be compatible. But if it accepts UVC, NDI, or UVC, NDI, or RTMP, then you can use it. Let's see here. Akshane, I apologize if I chop that up. Hey, the Mevo 2.0 has the iPad mic option, so I can connect my mixer to iPad directly. Can you tell me how do I get the same quality using multicam app? Internal mic turns on and runs too. Okay, so essentially with the multicam app, all of the audio features are not yet integrated. It's still in beta. Now we do intend to have all of these audio options available to our users once it's out of beta. So currently, your question's probably best framed for our multicam beta show. He might be able to show you a workaround for something like that. But as it stands, the app doesn't allow you to select between the two just yet. But it will. It will. Thank you for the question. Victor says, I did Facebook Live mobile stream, and my phone's data plan is not so great, and it gets shifted down, and the video and audio drop from time to time. But oh my God, the quality was still great. So glad to hear it, Victor. Yeah, phone plans, using the Mevo hotspot and using your phone's data, it's a great solution when you need it, but that's one of those variables. There's a lot of things that go into play when it comes to using cellular data, how many people are using the tower, and then just your data provider itself or your service provider itself could simply, drop and bottleneck you if they choose to do so. But I am glad that your quality is great. That's very nice to hear, even though you were running into some issues with the upload speeds. Carl says, can my boost and this Mevo work together for different angles? So Carl, I guess this kind of depends on what you're trying to ask specifically. Are you saying you're using an older Mevo with your Mevo boost? And then when you say this Mevo, are you talking about the Mevo Start? If you're asking if you can use multiple Mevo at the same time, then the answer is yes with the Mevo Multicam beta app. You can absolutely do that. You can also use Webcam Mode and use third-party software like Streamlabs OBS, Livestream Studio, vMix, Wirecast, Ecamm, all of those. They can all accept Webcam Mode, and you can do it that way as well. But if you're looking for a completely mobile solution, then the Mevo Multicam beta app is going to be the app that you want to use. You can use both or all three generations of Mevo simultaneously if you wanted to, side by side, and go live with that. All right, it looks like we're wrapping up time here. Where are we at? Looks about 32 minutes or so. Is that where we're at? 32 minutes. I'm having trouble because I look at here and it says, oh, I'm zooming in. I messed up. I look here and it says the timer is a lot longer because I went live a little bit earlier than that. So it looks like we're at 32 minutes. If you have any questions, I don't want to wrap up just yet. What I will do though is I will mention our referral program. If you find yourself already recommending users to use the Mevo and you're already telling people how great it is and that they should go get one today, then you may as well go to mevo.com/refer and sign up for our referral program and earn 5% off and save that individual 5% off. So that means you're getting 5% commission that you can earn some money, put some money in your pocket. And what's really cool about this, and I like to mention this, is that these codes that you're giving these users, they're custom codes are built for you. You get to pick your own code, of course, subject to our approval. So it does have to be an appropriate code, but you can create your own custom code, whether it's for your Twitch channel, your YouTube channel, your baseball league, or whatever it might be, and you can hand that out. So it looks like, you know, it's a one-on-one partnership is what it feels like, and people can trust that when, you know, they're getting a custom code from you with your name in it. So you can create your own code, sign up, and give that code out to anybody you meet. Earn 5% back that you can put in your pocket and save that user 5% as well. At Mevo full price, it looks like you're looking at about $20. So you'll save them $20 and you'll earn $20. So this is for US-based customers only, but you can go today to mevo.com/refer and sign up and take advantage of that. So I'm going to look one more time. Yep, looks like there's no more questions. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your participation in today's show. We are going to go live one more time this week. We go live 4 times a week. Tuesdays, it's me doing an Ask Mevo Anything, where I allow you all to just drill me with questions nonstop for about 45 minutes. I get to answer all of your questions live, and that's probably my favorite show. Wednesday, though, Will does a show for the multicam app. He shows upcoming features and then even features that are in testing internally that may or may not make it to the app. So if you're interested in the process that we go through to get features out to you, then that show is probably best for you. And he does that every Wednesday in the multicam beta group only. And Thursday, that's today's show. I try to go over a few topics, and then I even go as far as answering your questions and addressing those still live, just because we want to make sure we answer all of the questions that we possibly can. And then Fridays, Joseph goes live. He's our technical specialist who has a background in audio engineering. So if you have questions and you want to get deep dive into mixers, different types of microphones and the technology that the Mevo and microphones use, then that is the best way to get audio covered. So all of these shows are live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Mevo Camera. As always, if you're looking for updates on these shows or you're looking for any information Mevo related, make sure to like, follow, subscribe at Mevo Camera on Facebook, YouTube, and Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. So be sure to follow, like, subscribe, and until tomorrow's show with Joseph, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at Mevo Camera, I will see you all on our next show. Thanks for joining.